Good day, Philippines. Welcome to GAS TV News. It's November 21, 2022. I'm your resident newscaster, Manuel Jan Tiñana.
It's Christian Pasao will bring you the latest news.
For our headline today, President Marcos meets Chinese President Xi Jinping on APEC sidelines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Thursday met with Chinese President Xi Jinping for the first time in a bilateral meeting held on the sidelines of Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation 2022. For more, we have Ms. Crazy Cornejo.
Ferdinand Marcos Jr. on Thursday met with China's President Xi Jinping for the first time in a bilateral meeting held on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation 2022 events here. While regional issues were tackled in the meeting, discussions were mostly about Marcos' upcoming state visit to China in January 2023. The Office of the Press Secretary said in the statement, "It is the first time that I've met President Xi Jinping and I was very happy that we were able to have this opportunity here in the APEC meeting in Bangkok to have a bilateral meeting," Marcos said.
The bilateral meeting is really just kind of getting to know you, and it was the same with our meeting, the Filipino leader said. Marcos said and Xi met at the Mandarin Hotel on Thursday afternoon before proceeding to the APEC Gala dinner set on the eve of the leaders' retreat. Whatever details that need to be discussed between the Philippines and China will be taken up front during his visit, the OPS said. Marcos described his first meeting with Xi as a very pleasant exchange. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo helped set the tone of the meeting with China's leader. Marcos said they had a few minutes of recollecting the meetings that they have had, which I think helped to the tone of the meeting. So I am looking forward to January and the state visit to China, he said last week. Marcos pushed for the finalization of the Code of Conduct on the South China Sea during Association of at least Asian Nations Summit in Cambodia. The code seeks to direct the behavior of claimant countries in the South China Sea to avoid confrontation in strategic water where 60% of seaborne goods pass by annually. In an interview en route to Cambodia, Marcos said that it would be impossible for him to meet Chinese leaders without bringing up the South China Sea issue. In May, Xi was among the first world leaders to call Marcos to congratulate him for his election victory. Xi described Marcos as a builder, supporter, and promoter of China's-Philippines relation during that phone call that China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs had said in an earlier statement.
Overlapping claims in the South China Sea and China's illegal militarization of shoals and reefs in the area have been a sore point between Asia's largest economy and 5 Southeast Asian countries that are also situated along the disputed waterway.
Thank you, reporter Crazy.
Russian strikes batter Ukraine grid as first snow falls. Fresh Russian strike hits cities across Ukraine on Thursday, the latest in a wave of attacks that have crippled the country's energy infrastructure as winter sets in and temperatures drop. We have reported Benedict on site.
First Russian strike hit cities across Ukraine on Thursday.
AFP journalists in several Ukrainian cities said latest strike coincided with the first snow this season. After officials in Kyiv warned of difficult days ahead, the capital's regional administration said 4 missiles and 5 Shahed drones were shot down over Kyiv. Referring to the Iranian-made suicide drones, Moscow has been deploying in swarms against Ukraine targets. The salvos also came as Moscow and Kyiv confirmed the extension of an agreement allowing Ukraine to export grain through the Black Sea, which aims to help ease pressure on the global supply of food. An industrial enterprise has been hit. There's a big fire, he said, later announcing that 23 people were injured, including a 15-year-old girl in the southern Odessa region. A Russian strike targeted infrastructure, and the governor warned residents of the threat of a massive missile attack, urging them to seek shelter. The eastern region of Kharkiv was also shocked. Governor Oleg Sygyebov announced, adding that Russia hit critical infrastructure in strikes that injured at least 3 people. Zelensky, in response, described Russia as a terrorist state and said Moscow want to bring Ukrainians only more pain and suffering. Tensions spiked earlier this week after a missile landed in a Polish town on the border with Ukraine, and there was a flurry of accusation over who was responsible for the blast that killed two. Zelensky, after previously saying a Russian missile was to blame, seemed to soften his comment on the incident that raised fear of dangerous escalation. "I don't know what happened. We don't know for sure. The world does not know," Zelensky said. Ukraine has faced a series of strikes against its power grid following battlefield victories against Russia, the latest being Moscow's retreat from southern city of Kherson. Ukrainian Ombudsman Dmytro Lubinets on Thursday described the scale of torture uncovered in Kherson as horrific. Since the Russian retreated last week following 8 months of occupation, chilling accounts have started to emerge from Kherson. Lubinets said authorities had found torture chambers where dozens of people had been abused and killed. As Russia pursues the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the head of Central Region of Dnipropetrovsk, Valentin Ryzhkono, said,
The latest in the wave attack that have crippled the country's energy infrastructure as winter sets in and temperatures drop.
Thank you, reporter Benedict. We will be back after a few commercials.
Para kanino ka bumabangon?
Para sa akong mga anak. Dati, walang-wala talaga ako. Kahit pangbaon, wala akong maibigay. So it was a disappointment para sa akin. Kasi as a father, diba, gusto mong maibigay sa mga anak mo yung kailangan nila. Sabi ko, kailangang tapusin ko yung pag-aaral ko. Ipakita ko sa mga anak ko nga hindi ako failure sa kanila. Na kayang kasabay ako pang ibangon ang aking sarili, ang akong pamilya. That was my turning point talaga. Gidungan ako ang akong pagtrabaho, pagsikyo. Sikyo ako sa gabi and then mag-aral ako sa umaga. Ang kasama kong bumangon is Cafe Klase. Kayang tapangan sa oras ng laban.
127 cases of heart, foot, and mouth diseases reported in Albay, Legazpi City. The Albay Provincial Health Office, or PHO, is closely monitoring the 127 hand, foot, and mouth diseases cases recorded today. Reporter Viñas, take it away.
127 cases of hand, foot, and mouth disease reported in Albay, Legazpi City. The Albay Provincial Health Office is closely monitoring the 127 hand, foot, and mouth disease cases recorded to date, mostly among young residents in the province. Dr. Nathaniel Rempilio, Albay Provincial Health Office Chief, in an interview on Friday, said continuous coordination and case investigation were being conducted by their personnel to ensure the proper dissemination of information on HFMD in the affected areas. Health education on HFMD was conducted by PHO Sanitary Chief Engineer William Sabater. Disinfection in the school and other information relevant to the disease were being cascaded to different local governments. LGUs in the province that recorded HFMD cases. The information given is further action to be taken to prevent the increase of cases. Rempilio said, for the prevention of disease, strict hand washing and hand hygiene using alcohol-based sanitizer must be done. Just like the protocols being implemented for COVID-19, we must also observe the practice the minimum public health standards like mask wearing, respiratory hygiene, cut etiquette, disinfection of high surfaces, touch and shared items, avoidance of close contact like kissing, hugging, or sharing eating utensils or cup, touching the skin lesions with infected people. Rempilio said the most common symptoms of HFMD including fever, mouth sore, and skin rash, usually on the palms of hand and soles of the feet or on the buttocks, arms, and legs. Dr. Nathaniel Rempilio, Albay President Health Office Chief, in an interview on Friday, said continuous coordination and case investigation were being conducted by their personnel to ensure the proper dissemination of information of HFMD in the affected areas.
Thank you, reporter Viñas. We will be back after a few notices.
Kung alam ko lang, paulit-ulit ko na sanang sinabi sa'yo na mahal kita.
A man whose love remains unfinished.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Celine?
Hindi ako si Celine.
A woman whose life is yet to unfold.
Eto na nga oh, ang layo na ng narating ko. I have a chance to make you and Papa proud again.
One place will bring them together.
It is said that La Sagrada Familia was built as an atonement for the city's sins. When finished, it will be the world's most beautiful apology. Okay lang yun, maayos din naman lahat eh.
Baka lang kasi naalala mo si Celine kaya mo siya tinutulungan.
Ang layo, tita.
The love they find be enough to let their story begin.
Naisip ko it would help you move on.
Move on from what?
From everything that's keeping you from moving on.
Acting like you know my pain. Hindi ikaw si Celine. And you will never be Celine.
A Love Untold. September 14 in cinemas worldwide.
Rice at 20 pesos per kilogram will soon become a reality, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said Wednesday, but added that many things must still be accomplished. Reporter John Lloyd, it's your turn.
Rice at 20 pesos per kilogram will soon become a reality, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. said Wednesday, but added that many things must still be accomplished. The simultaneous launch of the Kadiwa ng Pasko project in Mandaluyong, Marcos, who is currently the country agriculture chief, said rice being sold in these stalls and the National Food Authority are paid at 25 pesos per kilogram. Thank you for your report, Reporter John Lloyd. We will be back after a few moments.
3 pataas, mag-Bonakid Preschool. 3 plus pag 3 pataas, mag-Bonakid Preschool. 3 plus.
Kaya moms, mag-3 pataas na sila. Bigyan sila ng Bonakid Preschool 3 Plus for a triple boost advantage in growth, energy, and immunity.
Pag 3 pataas, mag-Bonakid Preschool. 3 plus, batang may laban.
Barangay Ginebra aims to reach at least top 2 in the playoffs when it tackles kidding Blackwater on Friday's PBA Commissioner's Cup at the Araneta Coliseum Friday.
Justin Brownlee and company will try to make a advantage of struggling Blackwater, which is of the brink of elimination at 3-7. Hit by injuries to key players Troy Rosario, JV Casio, and Basser Amer, the Bossing adopt their last 4 games versus TNT, Converge, Magnolia, and Meralco. The Gene King will get a boost from Scotty Thompson and Jamie Malonzo, who were drawn from their duty with Gilas Pilipinas in the recent 5th window of the FIBA World Cup Asia qualifiers. There's also the massive support Brownlee has been getting in his naturalization bid to join the national team. Tip-off will be at 5:45 p.m. At the 3 p.m. curtain raiser, and Lex will try to save its sagging bid for the playoffs when they meet Hard Rock Tarafim.
The Gene Kings will get its boost from Scotty Thompson and Jamie Malonzo, who were drawn from their duty with Gilas Pilipinas in the recent 5th window of the FIBA World Cup Asia qualifier. Justin Brownlee and company will try to take advantage of struggling Blackwater, which is one of the brink of elimination at 3-7. Hit by injuries, the key players Troy Rosario, JV Casio, and Basser Amer. The Bossing dropped their last 4 games versus TNT, Converge, Magnolia, and Meralco.
The fourth victory also puts the Road Warriors within striking distance of the three teams with 5 triumphs: Ginebra, Northport, and Phoenix, with 2 games left in their list against the Gin Kings and the Bulls.
Thank you, reporter Jean. That is all the latest news from Gus TV News. See you later.